Password attack. During this section, we will be talking about password attack. Password attack is usually the first attack we are trying. And if you follow a specific methodology, this could be very effective. So we're going to see what is the proper way for doing a password attack that depend on the previous sections on gathering passive and active information. So for instance, I was able to get my victim IP, and my victim IP was, for instance, 192.168.163.140. Okay, so this is my victim IP. What is the first thing to do? I need to know the services that is running on his computer. So nmap minus small s capital S and enter. And we already spoke about nmap and what we are getting as an output from nmap. If I add capital O also, I'll be able to get the operating system. So I saw some like different kind of services here, but I can see that he got port 22 open. This is an SSH port. It's a remote connection tool that allow user to connect remotely, but it's the encrypted one, is a hard one. And I can see that port 23 has a telnet open. This is only a remote service, but is not encrypted. So 23 is easier than 22. In many cases, you will find 22 open, especially if your victim was a router. And this is most probably the case if you are trying to get to a network from outside. The first IP that you will be getting will be the router IP. And if you are able to compromise the router, which is quite easy, as you're going to see in this section, then it will be easy for you to map whatever behind this router. Anyway, so those services, you know, allow people to connect remotely, but definitely they have a password on them. So I can check. I can open another terminal and try to telnet, for instance. So if I telnet here, telnet on the same IP 192.168.163.140, I'll be requested to get a username. Username, it's not easy, it's not hard to get. I mean, I explained on the previous section different way to get some valid username from the victim device, from the victim computer or the victim router. We saw that on the previous section. So for instance, I know that there is a user under the name of user, but what about the password? So what we're going to do during this section, and actually the same case, if I try to SSH port 22, I'll get the same issue. So let me even show you. Let me close this terminal and let me show you. If I try to SSH, open terminal, and we're going to type here SSH, then the username. This is how to use SSH in Kali Linux. Add the IP. So I need to SSH using this username to this IP 163.140, and he's requesting a password. So definitely both of them are password protected. Now here is the case. Before starting using some tools, which you're going to try to use them and see how effective they are in Kali Linux to crack the password, keep trying different password, we have to use some different technique first. For instance, I can start, before using any tools, anything, to use some of the common password, like for instance, password, pass, from 1 to 7, from 1 to 9, you know, like the things that some people sometimes use. Yes, the probability of having the successful password using this way, it's not that big, but sometimes it works. Okay, let's say 5% it may work, but you should first try. And if you got some information about your victim, like, you know, some of their family members, his date of birth, you can try those. Okay, but you should not spend that much time doing that. So this is the first technique, to try some of the some of the passwords that common password people are using. The second way, before starting using the tool, is to check for a default password. If this was a router, for instance, and from my active information gathering, I know the type of the router, I can go to a website like this one, routerpassword.com, and I can check the password, the type. So for instance, if it was a Cisco router or it was a D-Link, let's see, Cisco. I saw it somewhere. Yeah, Cisco is here. And you can click find default password. You will find a list of password according to the model and according to service. So this model on, for instance, on Telnet got this username and this password. Now, you can check that on your home router, because many people think that the default account, which is admin, if you are using D-Link, for instance, I already changed it, but sometimes you'll find on some router, and this is very common, by the way, more than one default account, and this website will help you. So you may try to get a valid username and password from such website. But assume that I tried different way and it didn't work. So can I try to crack those passwords? And this is what we're going to do in the next lecture. We're going to try to crack the easy one first using Telnet, and then we're going to try to crack the encrypted one, which is the SSH. So let's see how to do that.